Anyway.
Anyway, we are back for another episode of Bingu, Choom, and K-pop tunes. I am Choom, also known as Reina.
And I'm Bingu, also known as Lacey.
Woo! Um,
What are we here for today?
News and trending topics. Yeah, because I was slacking and didn't look through a long list of
Girl,
other topics we could have talked about. So that's just gonna be
I
for
feel
another
like
time.
I feel like it was time anyway for a little news and topic
Yeah, because
update.
last month too, how we were trying to like push the news into our music reviews of the month. We
Mm-hmm.
completely forgot to do it last month because there was just so much music to talk about, and so I also was kind of like, I think we should talk about K-pop news.
Well, bring in the news. What is the first topic that you want to talk about?
I don't know. Mainly because I'm just like, do we want to start off sad? Do we want to start off with who
Oh,
really cares?
well, wait. Let me look at this monitor. Hmm. I think we should end on not a sad note.
Okay, so do you want to start off sad? Or do you want to start off with something that everybody knows?
Let's start off with something that everyone knows because I don't know if I was listening, I'd be like, just talk about it already.
So, Le Seraphim, who just debuted last month from HYBE labels, the girl that we previously talked about, the member, Garam, who was mixed up in the school bullying incident and had all of the proof the victims did, but HYBE kept staying quiet, and there was that back and forth. HYBE finally, I don't want to say finally as in like, oh, it finally happened, but I mean, it took long enough. I think we all knew it was going this way. They finally terminated her contract, and so she is no longer a member of Le Seraphim. They will continue on as
I remember
HYBE.
you bringing this up and you were like, I'm really not sure if they're gonna like keep her. So it really seems like they're gonna keep her. But why would they keep a bully? Why would you keep a
Well, I
bully?
wasn't sure if they would keep her or not keep her. And I wasn't like leaning towards the keeper, as in like I like her sort of deal. It was more just like HYBE stayed quiet for so long that I was like, do
Mm-hmm.
they have like information that they're not releasing to the public that we just don't know about? But at the same time, it did come to a point where I just felt like they should have gotten rid of her much earlier than this, because to debut with that kind of news surrounding you, even
I don't
as
know.
a top tier label,
Yeah,
is
it's
not
weird.
the greatest foot to start on.
It's weird because maybe they really did think they would be able to get past that. But when you debut and everybody knows about the group and then you have the internet, it was literally only a matter of time. And when they're coming out, are they coming out? Didn't they release something else? I think they
I
just,
don't think they.
well, I'll say that they're getting more famous, especially with like TikTok. So there's just no way a group can survive in this day and age when you have allegations like that.
No.
Like I'm pretty
The
sure it just got out of
internet,
hand.
yeah, the internet will literally tear you apart with an allegation like that. And so I did think it was
Right.
time, but with how like with the way HYBE took so long to release like information and their side and the statement, I was like, well, maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe there is some truth to like their counter statement. Maybe they've got access to like information that we don't, because obviously there's only so much public records that are actually public records in reference to things. And so I was just like, maybe. But I think it was a really rough foot for them to start on for a debut. No matter if you're HYBE and you're like the monopoly of K-pop companies right now, that's a bullying allegation that was this serious. to the point where it came out before they even debuted, I don't think that's something that you can really come back from.
I just feel
So,
like we will always wonder how she got that far.
yeah,
I
no,
think
definitely.
that will always be my question. How did you get that far? Because would have to have seen that in any
Hmm.
type of paperwork,
Yeah.
especially if like, especially when it comes to your image. It's, I don't know. Oh well,
Well,
we're just a
I'm
fly
sure
on the
too.
wall, and she's gone anyway, and she needed to leave. And the Seraphim has been putting out the TikToks to distract and to push people
They
to move on.
actually released a TikTok like right the day after, right after the news dropped. That was them like kind of not really dancing, but to somebody I used to know, and everybody
Mhm.
took that as like shade.
I took it
It
as
was kind of
shade. I
amusing.
saw it. I was like, oh, that's like, okay. I see what you're doing. That's very clever. I don't think it's shady. I think it's just is it is what it is, and I don't think it's not classy, but it's definitely better than any other TikTok they probably could have done. So
Yeah.
so glad
Yeah.
y'all got rid of a bully.
And I
You
feel
guys will
like
be
it's a way
fine.
for I feel like it's a way for them to acknowledge like they knew what was going on. Maybe they were on everybody else's side of like we didn't really want her to debut either. That sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know how
Cuz
you would
there were some
work with
comments.
somebody
Yeah. And there were some
as a
comments
bully.
that said that she looked a lot happier or the girls looked a lot happier now that she was gone. And I don't know them well enough to be able to like
I don't know
determine
them
that,
either.
but if that's the route you want to go, okay.
If that's it, it was time for you to go. I don't know what else to say. Like, oh, that means that everybody knew if they like weren't as they didn't look as happy
Yeah,
until she left. Like, how can you? I just don't imagine anyone being able to ignore that you're part of a group and one of the members is a bully and you got to live with them.
yeah.
I don't know how you just deal with that. I don't know how she dealt with that. I would alienate
If
her.
that, yeah, no, if that was on my conscience, I don't even know if I could debut. Like if I knew that was going
Oh.
to come up to the surface, I don't know. It's weird.
We'll see what happens like a couple years out, and see if she tries to
Do something
come back
again.
up. Hmm. So, great news to
Well,
start off on to me.
something everybody knows. We can stay on the topic of HYBE though, and so for the next thing that was trending, this one was a little bit more kind of controversial. HYBE,
Hmm.
along with one of their subsidiaries that I don't know the name of because they own like everybody at this point. HYBE debuted another girl group, which I thought was kind of crazy. I mean, I guess it's not because
Hive
it's a
has been putting
subsidiary.
in work. Okay,
Yeah. Well,
Hive
I
doesn't
get like,
sleep.
well, I mean, you can't sleep when you have that many subsidiaries and you're like the monopoly of K-pop right now. Like, there's
It's
no sleeping that's gonna
crazy to
happen.
me. I don't think
It
it even like
is.
settled for me until this month, where I was looking at the comebacks and I was like, oh my god, everybody is from Hive. I'm
Yeah,
like, how are
yeah,
you guys come? You guys are
and
all here?
it's like HYBE or HYBE Label, like one of their other labels.
Yeah.
So they debuted another girl group, which, like I said, I thought in retrospect was kind of crazy because it was like they just debuted La Seraphim. What are they doing? But it's one of the subsidiaries that they're debuting them from, called New Jeans. And I made a tweet. I was the one that made the tweet on the Twitter because I was like, "Who named this girl group?" So, one, really, who named the girl group? But two, the youngest member is 14, is what everybody is saying.
What? She's 14?
Yeah, and that's causing some controversy because one, that's a really young age to debut, not even to just be a trainee, but to debut. Um, and their concept is kind of like really mature for their age, some people were
Mm,
saying. I liked the music video. They're doing this like project thing where they put out a music video every day or every few days for all of their songs. So like what NCT does with their track videos.
mm.
Um so I only watched one, the one that like first came out as their like debut. I liked it. I didn't really notice anything that was like too mature or otherwise, but I'm going to be honest and say that I wasn't really watching the music video just because if we decided to react to it, I was like, I don't want to spoil everything.
I didn't watch it either because of that reason. Because the
So
song is really good.
I liked the
And
song a lot.
everyone has been in love with that song. No one
Attention,
has
right?
ever shut up. Yeah, no one has ever shut
Okay.
up about that song. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, what a great debut song to start off with. I didn't watch the music video yet, and I just saw like
Nope.
little.
Yeah, I just saw
You
little
know how you
tidbits and
hover
portions of
over
it.
the thumbnail and it like plays it? It plays like
Yeah.
clips. I was like, oh, this looks kind of like a typical throwback esque music video,
Yeah.
but I didn't know if we wanted to watch that or not.
I didn't either, so I didn't watch it. I saw like the hover thing, and I saw a few other clips because obviously my Twitter is filled with K-pop, so I scroll and I see things, but I didn't
Mm.
like watch it in full, so I can't really say if the concept that they have is like too mature. But a lot of people are really worried about the 14-year-old age thing, just for the fact that I know there was a lot of hypersexualization in Japan with debuting 14-year-olds in J-pop groups, and a lot of people are worried about that kind of coming into K-pop. Um,
Oh
so
God.
yeah, yeah,
I hope
I'm kind of on the
y'all
fence about
just.
I'm kind of on the fence about a 14-year-old debuting, only for the reason that the workload of an
Yeah.
idol is a lot, and I feel that might kind of fall in the lines of child labor. So that's where
Oh,
I'm
that's
kind of
definitely what it is to me in that
so
aspect, but that's like if they're like over sexualizing her, it'll be an issue. Like that. If I watch that music video and I'm just like side eyeing some things, or even down the line when they start doing mature concepts that are too much for at least the youngest member, I'll start
she's
questioning
only
it.
yeah.
But this sounds like a dream for any teenager
Yeah.
to be a K-pop idol. So I don't. It's a lot of work, but if it literally comes down to her. If this something is what she really wants to do, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna gatekeep. You know,
Yeah.
I'd only
No. And I
gatekeep if she was working out in the sun and like mining coal. Like I have a problem with that. Like that's what are you doing? No one should be doing all that labor without any
I think the only
benefits.
without any benefits. I think the only thing that I can really say, just because like I was more on the side of like, well, I don't know about the sexualization, but with her age, just like the workload of an idol, I can only really hope that the company is like working with her parents. That's
Hmm.
all I can really, I guess, hope for her sake, because it would be
Yeah.
a tragedy to have her at such a young age become overworked, overstressed, burnt out, and see a lot of mental health issues happen. That's like my fear for her. So,
Well, hopefully they'll. I'm guessing that that's what they're doing, and that's why she's here, and just hopefully that they're as transparent as they can be with her parents,
yeah.
and hopefully they care about the people. They care about all the idols type of thing, like because she's so young, she's not gonna know. She's young. I don't know what else to say. Like 14, you don't know nothing.
No.
I mean
Unfortunately,
that
no, you don't.
I mean that in the nicest way, but You don't know anything.
No.
And
I didn't know anything at 14. No.
no, I can't even imagine doing that at that age. Or even, I can't even, no, no, I can't. I don't know what else to say about that. I can't imagine it
I can't.
at
At
that
least not for
age.
myself. But like you look
Mm-mm.
at it too and it's so crazy how people really are like a 14-year-old debuting, that shouldn't be allowed when you've got child actors in both Korea and America, like who are going to play the
Like
cute
in
roles in
general.
movies. Yeah. Like it's not a thing that's like they shouldn't debut because they're this age. Like K-pop's for people that are older, and then for those same fans to turn around and be like, "Oh, you're 28, you
You're
can't
too
listen to
old.
K-pop."
You,
Yeah,
yeah, or you're too
you
old to
you
perform
can't.
when they're like 28.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. And there are a lot of like movies and roles and that sort of thing that you need kids. Like you need 14-year-olds, you need toddlers, babies, children. So child actors and child performers exist. So it's just weird. It's a very weird thing where people are like, they're 14, they shouldn't have debuted.
I don't think this is something I question. I would only question it if they literally debuted the group and it was like ages 12 to 14. Then I would be like, what's going on here? This is not. This is weird. This is actually weird.
Yeah.
Don't
Because
ever
like
do a love concept. And if it's a love concept, I want it to be I got a crush on a person and that's it. And I put the little love letter in the mailbox and I wrap it up for the day and I go to sleep. I don't want anything else. I don't need any other concept because that would be questionable to me.
yeah. Cuz like you don't even see that in America either. That's not
No, that would be
you
so
don't
weird.
have like even the bands that debuted, like Jonas Brothers for example,
Mm-hmm.
they were still in their young teens and like the Naked Brothers band I think was another one. I think the youngest brother in that was like one of the Nickelodeon bands that debuted. I think the youngest brother was like 14 or 13, but it never went any lower to my knowledge. So, yeah, if it gets below that age point, that's when I'd really be like,
It's when the whole group is it's like that. When the whole
well,
group
yeah,
is
the
that
whole
young.
because what are
I
you
don't think
gonna
she's I'm not standing that group unless it's literally for the babies. And it's like the Wiggles. Like we're here to make to make a fruit salad song. That's what we're here for. Like I feel like she'll I would hope she's okay. I feel like she's surrounded by at least she'll be surrounded by members that are basically her older sisters and they care.
yeah.
So they're not gonna let anything happen to her. Anyway, didn't know she was 14. That song, amazing.
Song is great. The
Great
song is super
song.
good. Yeah.
Everybody learn from that debut because that's how hard you have to come out. Like I mean, I see it all the time on TikTok. Everyone on TikTok is like, "Where did this magical track come from?" And where I just can't imagine life without it. It's such a blessing. That's what people are saying about it.
That's that's really cool that it's like popular on TikTok. I had no idea it had made like everybody's talking about it on Twitter too, but I had no idea that it kind of branched out into other social medias and was that popular.
You need to
I
download
really liked
TikTok.
it. I have it downloaded. I just hate opening it. Like you hate social media, I hate TikTok. That's just how I
I
feel.
like TikTok. It's
You send me
I don't
TikToks,
hate
I send you Instagram reels. That's how
that
this
I can't even
goes.
open. That I can't even open. It literally pulls it up on Safari and it's like, "Hey girl, log in to Instagram on Safari." And I'm like, "Why why do I have to do that? Why can't you just pull up the Instagram app?" And I don't know when Instagram is going to fix that. And TikTok has user experience issues too, but I'm just a designer, and these are the things that stand out to me. And that's not what this podcast is about right now. Because
Okay,
Instagram
well,
actually gave me a survey this morning, and I was very detailed with voicing my concern.
you're like, this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Yes. Yes. They're like, what do you dislike? I typed it. You could only select one thing you disliked. And I was like, this isn't fair. So I wrote a paragraph and I separated the two. And I was like, since you can't choose multiples, here's an issue for like the stories. Because I have an issue with a lot of stuff. Like Instagram in general is very much not a space for fun anymore. It's very like business now. It's always
Yeah.
ads. And if you want to hear any of my other concerns, you just let me know, and I guess I'll make a non K-pop related segment on user experience. But anyway, we can move on.
Well, I guess I'll backtrack to the sad news that was top of the list.
Oh god.
So
Okay.
we gotta do it at some point. So a show that is very popular, Heeyeol Sketchbook, is coming to an end after 13 years, and it's the 600th episode. They actually, when this episode has been recorded, they actually recorded the last episode like 2 days ago, I think. But for the final episode, they got SITAR to come back as a reunion appearance and make a reunion appearance. And I haven't had a chance to watch any of the performances yet, but it was kind of like two sad things in one. I was like, oh, this show is ending. And then they were like, SITAR reunion. And I was like, SITAR's coming
Why would you do a
back.
reunion of an iconic group that's not going to be a group after?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You
On
want
the
us to all
last
to just.
episode of something, too.
Why would you want us to cry like that? They say if
It
you want to
was
cry, you might as well just like cry. Just really
Yeah,
let it
you might
out.
as well just bawl. Apparently, the crowd, though, from what I did see, had a blast. I mean, it's SITAR, of course, but everybody was like on their feet singing along and like dancing. And I was just like, they deserve this.
That's
This is so
beautiful.
great. But it was like I said, two sad things. I was like, Heeyeol Sketchbook is ending? No! Because every once in a while I'd watch it. Like, not the whole thing through, but I thought it was a great show to actually showcase vocal talent of a lot of groups, because you would go on there and it wouldn't be like a standard performance where you had all the backtracking and like the ad like didn't have to actually sing live. And so I just thought it was a good show for singers and performers to go on in kind of a low key setting and talk about things, and also show off like natural talent. And to see that it was ending was sad.
That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, 13 years is a long time, but it's one
That
of
is
those
really
things
long.
where it's like Running Man. It's just been around for so long that I'm like, what are we gonna do without it? Like, what's gonna take the place of
Yeah.
this show?
When certain people left Running Man, that's when I stopped. And when I heard issues that were coming from Running Man during that time, I didn't feel happy watching it anymore. It made me sad. It made me really sad. So I just stopped. And I want to watch it again because it's Running Man. So I can understand the same feelings to this show and how it depends. It depends on whether or not someone does a not a remake of the same exact like title, but maybe something different along the lines of it. Especially if it's been out for so long, I just don't imagine. I just imagine it being called something else and done something differently, and it's just new.
To be fair, I could
But
see that happening. It's just the host too was very iconic. Everybody knew him, and it's
that's the
one of those
thing too.
things. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things too where it's like I feel like there are shows that are kind of similar on like web-based services to Sketchbook, but at the same time, this was a show that was on national TV like in Korea. So it's one of those things where it's like if they replace it, is it going to be iconic enough to stay on national TV? Are you going to be able to find a host that has the same just vibe overall of interacting with these artists? So I'm like, I didn't watch
Yeah,
it a lot, but it was one of those shows that I knew, and I knew what to expect going into it. So it's just kind of a bittersweet
it
sort of
is.
ending. And then they threw in SISTAR for the last episode, and I was like, okay, we're just getting more sad.
We're crying, crying.
We're
Cool.
crying now. We're not just being sad, we're leveling up to
We're
crying.
being we're being miserable. That's what we're doing. It's sad, but
uh,
you guys have to remember the good, like all the years. I can't. You could want something to continue, but I really feel for when hosts have done it for so long and then they're just ready to move on.
move
They're
on.
ready to do
Yeah.
something else or they just want to go a different route. And that happens and you just got to be happy with what goes on cuz I think that's happened with I don't watch TV like that over here, but I know enough iconic shows to where when they did end or when the host changed, the most like the reason was because they either wanted a different avenue from what they were currently doing as a host or they were just old and it was just time.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like on that note, I get where you're coming from with that because is it Jeopardy? The host passed away a few years
yeah, that
ago.
was sad.
That was
That was
super
sad.
sad. And like in my head, I knew at some point, yeah, he's got to retire. But the fact that it came so abruptly and was unexpected, and now they've gone through like two different hosts in that time, I can't watch it. And I like that show because I'm like, I'm going to test my knowledge. How much do I actually know? And I'm not nearly as smart as the people, but it's fun to watch. And like we would watch it as a family and try and like outplay each other. The
Mm.
new hosts just don't have that same like feel that he gave the show.
And for me, honestly, it makes me think about for any of the shows, for any shows that where that's happened, I always think about the OGs, and it's just not fair to put that expectation on new people when you know it's not going to be the same. And it makes me
Yeah.
sad watching it. So I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to be sad watching Jeopardy. I should be
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Or even with like the Wheel of Fortune, like that was a big one too. And
Yeah.
the
I
host
still watch the
changed.
old rerun episodes for that
I
one.
always catch the old ones too, but it makes you think about I don't know life. Just makes you like life is not one path for people, whether they
Yeah.
get older or they just want to do something different. So it's always changing, and if that's what happens, that's what happens. Good
Yeah.
luck to I don't know when you have an iconic host. I don't know how you're gonna find another one. To be
Yeah,
honest.
right. Agreed. Okay. So, next set of news, this one actually surprised me for
Mhm.
many reasons. Jennie from Blackpink is making an acting debut, but it's in America on HBO, and the producer of the show is The Weeknd.
I saw that.
And all of those things stitched together, like all of those bits of information stitched together, I was just like, what is going on here? I don't understand.
What are the details of that? Because I saw that and I was like, is this some type of like promo for a future album or something?
No, and that's what I thought it was too. Like I
The
thought they
Weekend,
were
like that's so
doing.
random of you.
Yeah, it's really random. Apparently the show is supposed to like follow, wow, I can't speak. Um follow like a specific character that's an idol, like a celebrity, and be like back behind the scenes workings of their life. I don't know. It didn't even sound interesting on top of
It
it. It
just
just
sound
sounded like a show that anybody could do. It's just the fact
oh, like
that
just like
it,
this is a glimpse of my life type of thing.
yeah, but it's everybody's acting. It's not like it's actually following these people as like a documentary.
Mm. Is it supposed to be a
Um,
comedy? Does it say it's
I
supposed to be a
don't,
comedy?
I don't know.
Well, if it's supposed to be like a comedy, I'm honestly here for it. I think that would be really funny. I feel like that's something the weekend would do, but we'll see. It's like I
Oh,
was
and it's
saying
also
how is what?
there's also a cult following thing involved too. I totally forgot to mention that, so it is kind of weird. The I'm reading this off of W Magazine's website. It says, according to a statement from the show, the idol is set against the backdrop of the music industry, centers on a self-help guru and leader of a modern-day cult who develops a complicated relationship with an up-and-coming pop idol. This, of course, begs the question of which one is the titular idol. I hate that word. The actual famous pop star, or the guy who has a cult devoted to him. And it's the
Okay,
main female lead is Lily Rose Depp, and Jennie is supposed to be in it somewhere along the way.
I think I would watch it. That sounds
I would.
very like interesting enough for me to figure out what's going on.
The cult aspect definitely does. I forgot about that, but it's also one of those shows where it's like it's just following a celebrity lifestyle essentially. So I'm like on the fence about it because it's like anybody could have done this, but I think it's popular because The Weeknd decided to do it and he's the
If it's
producer.
how I think it's gonna be, if it's gonna be like the quirkiness level of the show Atlanta or even The Office where you don't have cues to make you laugh. It's just kind of like one of those things where you're supposed to it's just supposed to make you laugh, but it's not a sitcom type of ordeal.
Yeah.
If it's like one of those, I think I'd be into it. I don't know much about The Weekend, but I feel like I know enough to feel like that's a route he would go in. And I don't think just anyone would be able to do it. It's going to depend on how the actors are too, but I think the plot of that is interesting enough to make people want to watch it. And Jenny being there is just really random to
Jennie
me.
Jennie being there is super random, but you know that's going to drag in a ton of other viewers because of how popular
it's
she is.
it's
So
K-pop.
he's like set got at least more than 100 viewers that are ready for this show.
Well, I'm going to be
um,
one of those viewers to see how
just
that
reading about
is.
it, I don't feel like it's going to be a sitcom, but also I didn't watch the trailer. Apparently, there's a trailer, and I had no idea. So it's just one of those things. I guess we'll have to find out. I just thought, like I said, the way the statement kept going one by one, like I was reading, it was like Jennie acting, American acting, HBO. I was just like, The Weekend.
And
What
it's
is
on
going on?
HBO. It's,
Yeah,
it's
it's on
actually going to
H.
be good.
Yeah, it's the only problem is
This
you got
might
to pay for it
actually
if you don't.
might actually be really good because anything on HBO is always
HBO has, yeah. My
always
problem
good.
is I don't pay for HBO right now, so I have to. I'm probably gonna buy a
You're gonna have to
subscription
finesse.
just to watch this, or see if any friends or family members want to share their login with
I think my
me.
sister has it. I don't know. Am I still logged in? I haven't touched that thing I haven't touched it ever since Game of Thrones ended. Like,
Yeah.
or if I need my Studio Ghibli hit, I'll watch some movies on there. That's when I open up HBO. But we'll see. When is the episode? Does it say when it?
I couldn't find any information just glancing over that website. Um,
Wow.
I feel like though with them saying like releasing the news, it's probably slated for fall in some point.
Mm.
Just seems like something that would click together.
The internet will tell us regardless. We'll just
Yes.
have to circle
And
around
if
if
we
we ever
never
watch it.
find a date, the internet will definitely let us know when it's on air
Hmm.
because that's all we'll hear about.
More than likely. It'll, yeah. Like Jennie is she's putting in work. I've seen her like, I don't know, she's working. I've seen her at a lot of fashion shows and just a whole bunch of random happenings where I'm like, okay, Jennie,
Yeah.
out here self promo, just living life.
Yeah. Yeah. She does go to a lot of events like that, which is really cool. Of the members, Jisoo was the first actor, and so, or actress, if you want to be technical. And so I never really like paired Jennie and that in the same, like, I never would have thought that would have been something that she wanted to try her hand at.
It might be
Not just
because
that.
Jennie is more. I don't know anything about Blackpink. Like, is she like? Does she speak the most English? Like, what is she in reference to? Like the group itself? Because if
She's one
she's
of the
something that
international member, but
oh yeah, that's probably why.
No, well, you can't say that though, because Jisoo is the only one that doesn't really speak fluent English. Lisa speaks English. She's from Thailand. She went to an international school.
Hmm.
Jennie was born in Korea, raised in New Zealand, went to international school there, speaks English. Rose, born in Korea, or was she born in Korea? She's from Australia though, so like she's fluent in English as well. I just
I
think
don't know. I would
Jennie
have guessed
overall,
her in. I would have guessed her or Lisa, to be honest.
Lisa has a
Just
very shy personality though. I feel like, except when she's like performing. But I guess it does fit Jennie though, because you talking about like her going to all the fashion events, I do think she has
yeah.
her hands in like a lot of different random things, which is probably how she
Com-
also got this as like an American acting gig instead of a Korean acting gig.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if we're thinking about members and what everything that they do outside of performance, I feel like or the first one that comes to mind is Jennie for me. Like, if somebody was like, "Oh, we should get a K-pop member for your show," and it's not BTS, let's pick for someone from Blackpink. Okay, what about Jennie? I've been seeing her a lot. She be going everywhere, so I feel like she could do it.
Yeah,
So it's probably just how it happened. I don't think it's really the talent of acting, especially if it is literally what I think it is. I don't think you need to be an amazing actor if it's supposed to be a documentary type of thing. It's supposed to be really natural.
I have a feeling it's not like that, but either way, we'll see. We'll find out. And congratulations at the very end to Jennie. It was just a
Mm-hmm.
very random string of
Is this
information that I
really
was like,
true?
yeah, I was like, it's not April. Is this an April Fool's joke? That's
Because it
how I
was so
felt.
random.
It
Yeah,
it was very random. Last
two
bit of news.
parents.
You'll never guess. It's not Monsta X related.
Oh, is it?
No, it's not.
Oh no, it's not.
No, it's not. Ateez is going on tour again. And I say
Get that
again because they
money.
just had a tour in February. So I'm
Let's
like, what
rest.
is happening? Yeah, what
It's
is
all about the
rest? And
money.
they're having a comeback either this month or next month. And then they're going on
Mm.
tour, and it's great that they're going on tour, but like twice in 1 year. And I realized that one of the tours was postponed, but like twice in 1 year, you're only gonna have like 5 new songs to sing. I'm a little confused. And
I
their
mean,
tour, not the set list, the tour dates or like places they're going is also really random because LA is on there for 2 days. New York is not on there at all. And then Phoenix, Arizona is on there.
maybe maybe it's a work in progress. I don't know. I just feel like you don't have any rest. So this sounds like something that gets some extra money before the year ends.
Probably. I'm I'm really just confused though. Like, they just went on tour in February, and I was supposed to go to the LA show with a friend that I'd gone to the last Ateez, like the very first Ateez concert with, and COVID postponed this last tour. And she's in Korea now, so we couldn't go. And I was like, I don't really want to go alone to an Ateez concert just because of how hectic it is. And so I told her, well, since you're there and you've got the tickets anyway, they're in your name, just put in for a refund. It's been postponed and like rescheduled this many times. And I think for a couple of the shows for a tease, they didn't even give you the option. They just kind of hung on to your money. They were like, you're going to
Oh
go to the
wow.
rescheduling whenever it is. Whereas at least with Monster X, they postponed it and they were like, if you want a refund, you can get a refund. Like, just reach out to us.
Who are
We'll
they working with to
we'll
have such a
do.
sorry
I don't
return, or not
know,
even a
but I
return policy?
I told my friend too that had the tickets, I was like, this kind of leaves a bitter taste in my mouth because at least with Monster X, even though it's been rescheduled multiple times, they've offered each time they've redone it, like, if you want your money back, that's still an option. Like, it's not a do it within this certain time frame. And a tease, their tour management company was just like, nope, you don't get the option. Like, when they rescheduled the dates, you can
We're
try
getting your
then.
money. That's what they said.
Yeah. And so I told my friend, I was like, that kind of leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. So just ask for the refund anyway. And so we did. And we literally had to wait until the day of the show for the refund to issue. So
What?
they still had our money up
Wow.
until the day of the show. So I don't even know if anybody ever got those tickets. Like, were did they get to resell? Like, did somebody else get to enjoy the show?
Yeah,
Were there
probably
just
not.
two empty seats there? I don't know. And so I, hearing that they're going on tour again after that entire thing for the last 2 years, and then finally getting our refund in like April, because that's how long it took after the show to happen.
Mhm.
They dropped this tour announcement, and I was like, why are they going on tour again? Like, what is the point?
They want
So
that extra money. That's what it
they
is.
do. I might consider trying to go just because it's in Phoenix, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
I would
can't make a
go.
promise. I can't make a promise though, because one, I don't know when the tickets go on sale. Two, it's not until November. And three, I've got a job interview scheduled for Monday in a different state. So it's like, I don't want to commit to this just yet.
You've been on your own tour with going with two Monsta X concerts, so it's
I
okay.
have more
I say I
dedication than
would go because
Mustangs.
I haven't been to a concert, a K-pop concert in a long time, so I would go.
Yeah.
If there
I
was one
like, I want
here,
to go. I want to go, and Anna really likes the tease. So there's also the draw of like, if it's in Phoenix, we could both go. But since they haven't released when the tickets go on sale and things are kind of up in the air with job situation again right now, I'm like, do I want to commit? Do I not want to commit? But assuming I'm still here in Arizona, I'll probably try and go. It's 2 hours away from me. Like, why would I not try and go? Who comes
mhm,
to Phoenix? Not very many people. It's starting to
exactly.
get better. It's starting to get better, but there's still like not a lot of groups that come to Phoenix, so
The
I
fact
will
that they're
try.
going, who knows if
Yeah,
they would even come back.
yeah, and that's
You know,
another reason why I'm like, I want to go because they might come here and decide that Phoenix sucks because it does, and then never come
well,
back. Like Monster X
at least
coming.
you have like a chance. I don't have a
Yeah,
chance. It's not even a consideration where I am.
I know.
They're when they look at the United of States, they look at
They're like
Atlanta,
these
New
places. Yeah,
York, nah, Texas, mm, Cali. That's
yep.
how you know it is. Like it's even amazing. It's we've come a long way. I will say that every time I mention Georgia, we've come a long way. It always made sense to me that you would always have a show there. I don't know how many people put it in their ears. Like, why aren't you doing Georgia? I'm just glad that it's finally like a standard.
Happening.
Because think about all the artists, even just in the States, and how often they come to Georgia.
That
Everybody
don't
comes to Georgia.
come. Yeah. Yep.
We have isn't the world's busiest airport? Is it the world? It's either the world or the United States. We have the busiest airport. So
Over
why wouldn't
LA
we?
too?
I think Atlanta has the busiest airport.
Wow. That's crazy. Probably a
How?
lot
Have you
of
been?
no.
Oh, let me see. I'm pretty sure it
Have I
is the
been?
busiest airport.
No.
Have you been
I was
to
gonna
Atlanta's
say
airport? Yes,
no.
number one. It's like you go to
I was
any
gonna
other airport, you're like,
I was gonna
oh,
say there's probably a lot of um, connecting flights there.
layovers or yeah, trick connecting. Yeah, that's what it is.
Connecting flights. I feel like it's a good
I
middle
love the
ground
airport.
to. That's a
I
weird
do.
statement.
And
Oh,
I don't
actually,
think
no.
you'll
I
get
take that
that.
back. I take that back. I love Denver's airport, Denver, Colorado. I love their airport, and they've got a train that's really cool. It makes finding
Atlanta has a
what
train.
terminal do they? It makes what finding what terminal you have to go to very easy. Phoenix's airport, Sky Harbor, doesn't have that, and so
Oh
I
no,
hate
everybody
going.
else. Everywhere else is a joke. I don't know what else to tell you. The moment, because if we're gonna meet up, and you're gonna have to go through that airport, and you're gonna be like, what? This is a whole city in here. That's how it feels like. This is
If
you're
it's,
gonna go in there and be like, this is why people show up to the airport like 5 hours early. Like
I mean,
it
I
makes
do that
sense.
because of anxiety.
But I'm saying like you do that for anxiety too, and the lines are hit or miss with Atlanta right now because of how busy everything's been, but there's so much to do there. There's just so much. I like it. I like the airport. Everybody else doesn't. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I enjoy my time at the airport. I'll be that person that is there hours before my flight because I'm exploring all the terminals and I'm sitting down in a restaurant and having a good time and I don't know. It's fun for me. It's fun for me.
Oh, okay. Well, that was it. That was all the news I had for July. Yeah. Wow, it's
Mhm.
almost August. I know I said that last episode, but
It'll be
where did the
August
month
like next week.
go? Yep.
Not
Um,
yeah,
basically
basically
next
next
week,
week.
yeah. So yeah, that was some trending topics of July that really all just happened very recently. So that was
Hope
it.
you enjoyed. Now you
Yeah.
know what's like going on in the K-pop streets.
Let us know your opinions on some of the stuff too. If anything pops up, whether it be Garam's contract ending or how you feel about Ateez going on tour again, whatever it may be, you can
Let
let
us know.
us
Did we miss
know.
something?
Well, we
Some we
definitely
don't
missed
know.
something. I only chose
But
like
like,
5 or 6.
do we miss something that you deemed was more important? I don't know. I think these topics were good.
I
These
do too.
were these were like not enjoyable in a sense that we had things to talk about. So
Yes. And you actually knew about some of the topics too.
I did. I don't know how. Don't ask how. Um, I don't know, but it was either
I get
Twitter or TikTok that let me know.
it. Twitter and TikTok doing work. Okay, that was
Hmm.
it though for this episode of Bingu and Choom and K-pop tunes. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, leave us a review. You can find us on YouTube now.
Hmm.
Did I
If you're
miss
watching this
anything?
on YouTube, like and subscribe. That would be
Yes,
nice.
yes, it would.
It was. We'll see you in the next video, whatever video
Yeah,
that may be,
whatever it is, it'll be a
and
surprise.
you'll hear us in the next podcast episode.
Yeah, next podcast episode will be a monthly review, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.